is our 56th spring open house. This week, in 1962, Waters Garden Center began. And so that's why we celebrate this every year at this time. So the start of spring is this week. So, and I feel like it, but spring it's here. Harold Waters, whose the name is on the building, Waters Garden Center, he's my father-in-law. So he is Lisa's dad. So he's still alive, still going strong. I'm trying to get him here. It'd be great to get him on camera, show him off. So he may actually show up this weekend. I think he will. But he's still going strong. But he never dreamed we'd get this big. He never dreamed, he said last week, I never dreamed we'd use all of this property. Because back in the 70s and 80s, this started in 83. He bought the properties in the late 70s. This was basically way out in the country at that point. The mall had not even been built. The first mall that we had was right here where Walmart is in that area, the Big Lots. That was our first mall. That moved back in, whenever that was, 2006 or 7 or something. That moved across town. So he was kind of had a premonition or saw the trends. Plus he hung out with good friends who were developers and rangers and those folks. So they kind of knew what was going to happen. So that's kind of the progression of Waters Garden Center. We're second generation owners. We bought all the shares out, so they retired officially back in 2000 and, when was that? 2002, so it's been how many years? Oh, 16 years? It's been that long? Really? And we've been in the business for 20 years, but they retired and that kind of stuff. So before that, I was a corporate banker. So I built credit bureaus of all things, out of college. No one was stupid enough to do that, but a college kid. So I went and I worked for Equifax and TransUnion and these big credit bureaus. I helped build the TransUnion Bureau in Phoenix. Then I moved to Sacramento, built it for them. And then I shifted over, was a regional manager for Equifax, which is kind of a dirty word anymore since they lost that security thing. I am so glad I'm not in that business, so glad. But then I missed my hometown. It's where my wife was born and raised. We wanted to get back. So back in the 80s, there weren't any jobs, unless you were in, I guess, education, hospitals, or city worker or something. Still, it's sort of that way. It's a little bit better, but still, it's harder to do that. The family had a business. We said, hey, can we come into the business? And that's kind of how we did all of this. Kind of an interesting tidbit. We came home to visit from Sacramento at that point, where we were living Folsom. Came home to visit family at Christmas. Harold and I were chopping wood on the back property, and we just negotiated this deal over chopping wood. So that's how we decided how to pass the baton, one generation to the next. So 56 years, I guess that all comes down to 56 years ago, Waters Garden Center began. The very first garden center in Arizona, northern Arizona. So there was nothing in Flagstaff, nothing in anywhere. White Mountains, Waters is the first. Then it's just expanded from there as the population has kind of expanded. With that, I'm going to set the stage up. You guys got to decide who's going to go first. Maybe ladies first, or maybe we break up the thorns with a rose in the middle or something. We'll do that. We'll put Patty in the middle. We've invited our growers, suppliers, vendors to be here all weekend. And so I thought, hey, why don't we take 10 minutes and just talk about your company, whatever you want. What you got started, maybe a new plant or something you've created or how you styles. Keep it garden related. And then take 10 minutes and then they can ask questions. And then we'll pass to the next person. Sound okay? So it's really informal. There's no direct topic other than gardening.